Yeah, thanks for joining me for a quick chat on
Mhm.
DevilishYou for Lavender Moon Candle Co.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you for having me again.
No, that's okay. Well, look, tell us all about it. What drove you to make Lavender Moon Candle Co?
So, back in 2019, uh, our oldest son was diagnosed with autism and anorexia nervosa.
Yep.
And we were trying to find a way to help him manage that because he actually dropped all the way down to 50 kilograms and he
Yep.
was 17 years old at the time. And he was having trouble keeping down even water.
Yep.
So, he loved candles. He always asked me if he could have a candle. And unfortunately, a lot of the candles that we found in the shops and so on were just too overpowering for him
Yep.
and made him actually more sick than help calm him at all. So I thought, why not? Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's make these candles because and use some of my experience as a special needs support teacher as
Yep.
well to factor in what works and what doesn't and cater for the more sensory sensitive. So we tested it firstly with him and then around our dogs. Um, our youngest son is also neurodivergent. He has
Yep.
ADHD and ADD. Um, so he lights our candles all the time in his bedroom. And then we thought, okay, so it's okay with them. It's okay with the dogs. What if we sent it out to some of our friends and family that we know who are also
Yep.
neurodivergent and have psychosocial disabilities and who struggle to find home fragrance products. I would say that you know they can be around without getting a migraine or without feeling too sick.
Yep.
So we sent that out, and the response was very encouraging. And we were like, okay, so maybe this is a gap
Yep.
that needs to be filled. And so we sat down for a good while and we thought about it and we're like, okay, let's try it, let's do it. And that's sort of how Lavender Moon came about. It's just trying to create space and inclusivity um, for anybody that loves candles and wax melts, really.
Yep. So what's the difference
Mhm.
between a candle and a wax melt? Obviously, a candle has a wick in it, but what's the different
Yeah.
properties? How do they you know affect or change people? How do they help people in different ways? One's obviously a candle's bright light. One's a melt. You need to have a
Yeah. So I would say with a melt, you would need a melter.
yep.
Um, it's not something that, unfortunately, you can just light and go, unlike a candle. A candle is sort of its own little um, for lack of a better word, ecosystem.
Yep.
So there are certain scents that work as a candle that don't work as a wax melt and vice versa.
Yep.
So because you're dealing with an open flame with a candle, um, it tends to morph certain scent notes to make them more overstimulating than calming.
Yep.
So we test to make sure that, whatever scents we have as a candle don't trigger and don't overstimulate. With a wax melt, it's a lot of people do prefer it because they prefer the option to not have an open flame.
Yep.
Because there are wax melters out there that you don't need a tea lighter for. So you just have like an electric wax melter, which we actually do recommend
Yep.
because it's a lot safer. It's about as bright as a nightlight, and your wax melts last a lot longer, and you get the true scent, I would
Yep.
say, that way because it breaks down the scent notes very, very gradually.
Yep.
So yeah, it all depends on what you prefer. So some people like the glow of a candle and
Yep.
find that calming, and whereas others, it's more of a scent,
Yep.
and it's more about the aromatherapy of it all. So um, it just depends on what you're looking for.
Yep.
So, for example, say you are meditating and you need a focus point, and you find that the flame of a candle helps with that, then we would suggest obviously go with a candle.
Yep.
However, if you're just looking at creating a peaceful space and you're not too worried about having something to focus on, then the wax melt would be the best solution for that.
Yep. Yeah, because I've got a couple of your products here at the moment that we've been trying. I've tried the watermelonade. You can sort of been burning that one. I grabbed one this morning to have another smell, which is the gratitude. I haven't burnt this one yet. Haven't started this one. It smells very nice. They're very, you can sit there, you don't even have to light them. I could just walk around and just smell the candle wax and still enjoy them. Yeah. So have you ever thought about like like I was just saying, you could just smell them. Could you make them like a body rub would that?
We're probably looking more at room sprays. As far as body products go, it's a bit touch and go because there's a lot that goes into making, say, a body cream that can actually be quite what's the word?
Yeah.
Aggravating to the skin. So
Yeah. No.
Whereas a room spray, it's more accessible, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially for classrooms.
So we've got the wax melts as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get them focused.
Are you enjoying them?
Yeah, I am.
Good.
I tried. You might have seen some of the videos. I tried making a time lapse of the wax melting, and it's a new camera I got, and I just couldn't get the lighting right. I thought, I felt so bad because it just doesn't do the product, credit. It's amazing just sitting there watching it melt, and the one we were melting, it looked almost metallic as it was melting, and it was amazing. And we got mystery bags as well.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got some mystery bags.
The mystery bags kind of tick the box of fun for me and for the customers, because in the mystery bag, exclusively to the mystery bags and mystery boxes, we have the little novelty shapes like what you're showing there.
Yep.
They're not available for purchase individually.
Yep.
So it's just a bit of fun, and it's a good way if you don't know what scents you like, or you want to explore the range a bit more. That's probably the best way to go.
And that'd be great.
There's also a lot of scents sorry.
I was going to say they're great for gifts as well, because you can give someone it's like a mystery unboxing every time. There's something different, and you just got to. I think you should. I think you should put a warning on the waffle-like one saying that they're not to be eaten.
You'd be surprised how many people have eaten our samples at market, actually.
Yeah. Oh no. Do they
actually had to put a sign saying, "Please don't eat samples."
This is not chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah. But like even the flavors, white. Oh, that's the one I was melting the other day. White tea and lavender. Yeah, it's beautiful. They're great scents. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, how do you, when you design a new candle, you're going to have a new fragrance? Do you subject your family to the testing, so they're all tested on your kids and on your husband to get the mix right?
Everyone. Yes, exactly that. So, for example, Gratitude's actually one of our most recent releases to our wellness range. When we were testing Gratitude, we went through 20 different iterations.
Yep.
And then we whittled it down until we got exactly what we were looking for, because we wanted it to be tonally precise to what we wanted to call it. We wanted it to resonate with the intention of the candle. And we went through a lot. And after we narrowed it down to, say, 8, we then passed it on to our testers. And we got their feedback. And based on that feedback, we decided what we would go with, because because scent is so subjective. What I might like, what you might like, might be very different. So, for example, some neurodivergent individuals cannot tolerate the scent of lavender. They find it very triggering. They don't find it relaxing at all. So we have alternatives. We have Gratitude, we have Meditate, that are all lavender free. So in that space, that's the kind of information we only would have had we tested as much as we did. And it's a very rigorous, very expensive process, I have to admit, to get to the final product. And Gratitude has been in the works for at least a year, I
Yep.
would say, before finally being to be
Wow.
released. Yeah.
So a year to test your, because normally people just, that I know in the past, when they make a candle, they just get their essential oils, put it into the wax melts and melt it in, put a wick in, and, you know, put it into a mold and go, oh, there you go, I'm going to take this to the market. And but a year to come up with the correct scent, that's amazing. That is
Yeah.
commitment. That's a lot of commitment to getting it right.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you very much for saying that.
yeah,
It's when we first started, um, I'm sure my partner Blake probably thought I'd gone mad because
yeah,
there was I wish I had taken a photo. There were 50 candles on the tabletop.
yep,
All had a different wick. All had a different wax, same vessel, and all that kind of stuff. And that was just to narrow down what wax I wanted to use.
yep,
So we knew we wanted a natural wax. We knew we wanted something eco-friendly. We knew we wanted it to be vegan. And we knew we didn't want anything with paraffin in it,
yep,
because when that burns, it's quite toxic.
yep,
So, but there's so much out there. The market is very saturated.
yep,
So if you want a soy wax, there's 12 different soy waxes. If you want a coconut soy wax, there's a good
yep,
6 different coconut soy waxes, and all of them have a different molecular breakdown. I'm going to sound like such a
yep,
nerd right now. But um, so we had to test everything, and it literally took about 7 months for
yep,
me to finally arrive at just the wax we decided to use with our candles.
yep,
Um, I know some people are very pour and go with how they like to do
yep,
things. Um, I've heard a lot of horror stories from our customers about candles, and we've done everything we can on our end
yep,
to ensure that there is something different about Lavender Moon, that it is safe, that you can put your money behind it, and
yep,
that, it's you can light it and not worry about what it's going to do to what's around it, that
yep,
kind of stuff. So, um, I would say with Dara to a fault.
yep, yeah,
And a lot of people who sit me down and get me started talking about candles and what to look for usually need a spare hour
yeah. Just hand them a
because I nerd
catalog.
out about
Just hand them one of your catalogs saying,
candles.
this is what you need. Just get the candles through us, and you don't need
Yes.
another candle.
Um,
No
but
need for all
yeah,
the questions. Just no need for the questions. Just we've answered them for you.
I would say it's been a really long journey and a lot of work
Yep,
to get to what everyone sees on the website. Which to a lot of people they go, oh, it's just another candle store, and it's to us it's not.
no,
So
it's not. Well, it's on the
yeah.
screen behind me. I've got it. It's you
Oh
can't
yeah.
really see it very clearly, but you can see it there, and it's colourful. It's because that's another thing I was going to say. Because everything is colourful and it's bright. It looks almost as good to eat. How do
Oh,
neurodivergent people handle those bright? How do they not trigger something being so bright and colourful?
we also tried out with the colors, and we actually got some amazing feedback about the
Yep,
colors, and a lot of them like the visual.
yep,
So a couple of our testers are very tactily sensitive, so they don't like the feel of
yep,
wax, which is why we created the shake and melts,
yep,
because you can just shake them, melt them.
yep,
But with the colors, they like that sensory experience of watching it melt, of watching the colors swirl together. They like watching the mica sparkle
yep,
and all that kind of stuff. So, in that way, they like that more interactive
yep,
experience of the wax melt. So we were like, okay, because I did worry, like when
yep,
we first started doing the wax melts, whether the colors were going to be too much. And if anything, everyone's like, yeah, more
yeah,
color, more glitter.
yeah.
I was like, okay,
Well, that's a good
noted.
sign. Yeah. Now, when you're making your candles and you say you're going to do another batch or you're going to create a
Mhm,
new flavor or fragrance, it takes you a
mhm.
year to come up with the fragrance you want and the smells and the colors and when you decide to go into production, is it just you
Mhm.
producing them, or do you have a whole team behind you? Your partner and your kids get in there, and
No, it's just me.
yeah,
Yeah, everything from start to finish is just me. If you talk to Blake, he'll say he's just tech support and event management.
yeah,
I'm pretty much everything else, and which I love. I mean, that's what I always say to people. This isn't a hobby. This is a passion
yeah,
project, and if I like to make sure that in every step of the way there is that attention, there is that personal detail put into it, there
yeah,
is all that love and care that goes into every single candle, and we don't even use any machines. It's just all me.
yeah, yeah,
So if you can see behind me, that's the melters that we
yep,
use. That's got all the wax, and then the jugs that we use to pour as well. So it's really all just me and my two hands.
yep, yep. So we're apart from the website,
Hmm.
it's Lavender Moon. I did I have it up? It's on the screen behind me. I can't. What was the web address?
lavendermooncandleco.com.au.
Yep. Apart from the website, where else can people find you and your candles?
Um, if you're in Canberra, we're at the Hague Park Village Markets.
Yep.
Um, However, if you're not, well, sorry,
Yeah.
you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok.
Yep.
Um, I is it we'll link, like, if you go onto our website, you also
Yep.
find all the links to all our social media. Um, but yeah, that's the best places to reach us, and we're hoping to do more markets next year.
Yep.
But yeah, with the way things are going, it's been a bit slow lately.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, we'll be coming into the warmer months. People are going to start coming out of their hibernation. They're going to start going to the markets again. They're going to start getting out and about because realistically, you want to um, be able to smell them and feel them, and because they are an amazing product. I congratulate you on the design and the effort put into producing them. Um, now, how did you come up with the name Lavender Moon?
Um, it was honestly, I had a whole list of different names, and I just knew that I wanted to go with something that spoke to me and
Yep.
to our customers. So I wanted, and I love the moon. The moon and its energy has always been a big part of my life. Very I gravitate towards it
Yep.
like it's a family member, honestly.
Yeah.
And lavender, you know, it's calming, it's soothing, um, and it's honestly one of my favorite colors. So I was like Lavender Moon, Candle Co. And the more I said it, the more it was like, yeah, no, that feels right.
Yeah.
That feels like what we want to be known as from now
Yep.
on. So yeah,
Because when you the logo and everything just comes together so well, and the products
yeah, we had a wonderful friend help us put that together.
yeah,
Yeah.
because everything is like when you say it's just you putting these together, and you
Mhm,
look at the product and you feel the product, it looks like it's
mhm.
been made, like by, not saying you're not professional, but it looks like it's been made by a major company, a major player. It doesn't look
Thank you.
like, it doesn't look like that one person has put this together. It's amazing. It's great. I thought, because when I first spoke to you and when I started doing it, and when we received these, I'm thinking, it's got to be a big business. Got to be a lot of people behind this because it's so the different fragrances, the different colors. The when we got the bags, the mystery bags, it was such a surprise seeing how they were delivered, and absolutely amazing. So well done, just one person like yourself, and obviously your
Thank
partner in the background doing his bit. But now,
you.
how now we're going to get back into the nitty gritty of it. How does the
Mhm.
candles? How do they soothe, and how do they help the neurodiverse people?
Okay, so when I was working as a support teacher,
Yep,
um, what inspired part of this as well is the way we used to do it. It is they're trying to change it now, but the way we used to do it is, say we go into a class and we help a kid who is autistic.
yep,
Um, if that child is overstimulated, which is easy to happen in a classroom, it's noisy, there's a lot of smells, there's a lot of colors, there's
Yep.
a lot of stimuli everywhere, and they have a meltdown, the solution to that is to remove them from the classroom.
Yep.
So we wanted to do something to help change that.
Yep.
So that they can stay in the classroom, be with their peers, learn with everyone else, just like anyone else.
Yep.
Because we found that removing the kids from the classroom actually didn't help with inclusivity.
Yep.
And it made them feel more out of the loop than and it's harder for them to jump back
Yep.
into the classroom routine and keep up. So I found with some of my ex-students, they would have little comfort items. So some would wear headphones if
Yep.
they were sensitive to sounds. Some would bring a favorite book that they could focus on. And then there was one who would always have a little container of lavender. And I'll always remember her. And
Yeah.
every time she got a little bit stressed, she would just go like
Yep.
that. And then she'd be okay.
Just like I was
And
doing with the candles.
so we thought, okay, candles are sensory in a way. They tick one box on the sensory profile, which is scent and
Yep.
aromatherapy. What if we can combine the two and find a way to soothe and calm?
Yep.
And what we found was more triggering about a lot of candles out there wasn't just the wax that they were using, but it was the level of fragrance that was in each one.
Yep.
So if you've ever walked up to like a generic candle store,
Yep.
not gonna name names, and you pick up a candle and you go, whoa.
Mm. Yep.
That's usually means that there is way too much fragrance in there, and it would be overstimulating for you to burn that candle
Yep.
and to even be around that candle. So the whole purpose of having a lit candle in your presence to calm you down will be completely defeated.
Yep.
So that's more what we found from, like anecdotal experiences from people we've spoken to, from our testers, what they would like to have happen in a stressful moment, what they need. And we started doing our research with essential oils. However, I must say that there are no direct essential oils in our candles because essential oils are highly flammable
Yes.
and they're not safe. So everything is an infusion. Um, so just like, when you go to a massage place and they use massage oil on you, it's a carrier oil that has essential oils in it. That's something similar to what we do.
Yep.
And we try to encourage people to choose a candle or a melt that when they burn, it helps to elevate their self-care. So everyone's got self-care practices, whether you have a nice bath or, you give yourself a facial or a pedicure, or you go for a nice long walk, or you put on your favorite TV show. Light a candle and you can actually elevate the mood.
Yep.
So if your intention is, say, to focus, like you want to concentrate on what you're doing, you need to refocus your body and your mind and realign everything, I would suggest you light manifest.
Yep.
So that's what we tried to do. We tried to create candles that elevate your self-care and help with the intention that you're trying to set for that moment.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, one thing I found when we got the delivery of the candles and the waxes and the melts, there was an instruction guide for candle care. Now, I didn't,
yeah.
I didn't understand I didn't know you had to candle. I didn't know there's such thing as candle care. I just thought you just lit the candle and away you go. But talk us through some candle care.
So especially with a natural wax candle, you have to get the best out of any candle, I would say, but especially a natural wax candle, there are certain practices I would definitely reinforce.
Yes.
One, always trim your wick to about a centimeter or so before lighting it. One, it stops the flame from getting too big, and it also stops too much buildup of soot
Yep.
around the edges, and on your wax itself. Put a cover on your candle. We provide covers with all our candles.
Yep.
And that stops dust from collecting around your candle,
Yep.
which will also affect the scent and how the wax behaves. Be careful and mindful of where you have your candle.
Yeah.
So don't put it near a curtain. Don't put it near an open window. You know, don't put it on a stack of papers. It's just be mindful about where you leave it and who's around the candle at the time. Um, Especially with the wax melts, they're
Yep.
you don't want one of the kids going, "Ooh, pretty," and sticking their fingers in.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't. Not that
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
I did not try doing that.
Don't do it. But especially with the tins, so we
Pretty.
have the glass candles and we have the tins. So if you have one of our tins, all the more be mindful about where you're leaving it and
Yep.
for how long you're burning it. Do not burn your candle for more than 4 hours at a
Yep.
time. We've done some tests of power burns, like everybody forgets, and they sometimes leave their candle on for a little bit longer. Um, I wouldn't recommend it,
Yeah.
but as long as it's not near something highly flammable, if you forget it, it should be okay. But try not to do it.
Yeah. So I did notice that I did have this candle going for a while, and I wanted to pick it up and move it, take it to another room with me, and I made the mistake of having the lid sitting underneath.
Oh,
and I tried taking it out, and the actual around the rim where obviously you got the flame in the middle, it does get does get hot.
yeah, yeah.
So so if you're going to do that, don't sit your lid underneath it, because you're going to want to put something on top. Obviously, it'll put the flame out, but so you don't burn your fingers, because it does. Yeah, obviously it's a hot flame.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would say with the tins, if you notice at the bottom of the tin, there's a slight lip around the edge.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so that's called the foot, and
Yep.
it actually keeps the base off the surface to
Yep.
prevent it from getting too hot. So you putting the lid on it sort of insulated it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be fine if you don't have something like
Yep.
covering that bottom,
Yeah.
because as long as that bottom is exposed, it's fine.
And
Yep.
there's obviously I didn't check, but there's the warning underneath. That obviously, me being a male don't read instructions or warnings. Just I know what I'm doing.
Happens to everybody,
Yeah.
just you.
Yep. So there you go. There's your candle care. We've got to make sure we look after the candles. Now, another question I had was, how long, like how many times can you use a melt before the fragrance starts dropping off or disappearing?
That would really depend on your melter and how
Yep.
aggressive it is. So I'll show you. Oh, don't drop it. So that's a tea light melter.
Yep.
These are actually far more aggressive than an electric melter.
Yep.
So say a little segment of a snap bar. Can you see that?
No, you can't see. Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, a little segment of that, right, would last about 6 hours in a tea light melter, but about 10 hours in an electric melter. I would say only change them out once you can't smell them anymore, because it's the fragrance oil that burns off and not the wax.
Yep.
So I've heard we've had a couple of ladies who bought some wax melts that changed them out every hour.
Yep.
And I was like, no. It should, they actually last a lot longer. So as long as you can keep smelling them, don't change them out. So yeah, if you're using a wax melt that's maybe burning off too quick, one, maybe look at the melter.
Yep.
Two, the temperature of the room as well will probably lend to that. So we say minimum, like one of those packs, they used to last about 60 hours in total. Yeah. Minimum.
So that's one of those packs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And those are reduced at the moment. Yeah. But one of our snap bars is 35 hours minimum. One of our shake and melt bags is 90 hours minimum.
Wow. Yep.
And I think in one of the novelty bags, like the mystery bags,
Yep.
you can get quite easily like 300 hours worth of melt
Oh,
time from
that's
everything in there.
that's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was so much that went into them. I honestly thought, like, when I got the products, I thought there was a big, massive, like I said before, there was a massive company behind it, putting it all together. And but what you've explained is, like, it takes a year to come up with some of the flavors, or the fragrances, not flavors, they're not candies. The fragrances, it takes a year to come up with don't eat the candles. Takes a year to come up with them. You make them yourself. They look highly professional. They're amazing looking, amazing smells. So yeah, I wish you all the best. Hopefully, a lot of people will get onto the website and start buying some, because it's amazing. You don't want to miss out on some of these products. Like I was saying, I can just sniff the can. I don't have to light it. I can just walk around and just get a bit anxious, or you're just missing something. You just have a bit of a smell, and and yeah, they're nice, and they're great. So
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to go and invest in one of the electric candle melts now.
I would highly recommend it because the one that we've had has lasted us 2.5 years now. We
Yep,
haven't had to change the bulb or anything. So, um, if you can find one, definitely get one.
yep,
Yeah,
yep. So
so much better.
when did you actually start the business? Did you say?
2022, I want to
Yep,
say. Yeah,
yep.
because we're turning 2 at the end of this month. Yeah, October. So,
Wow.
wow, we've been doing it for 2 years. Doesn't feel like 2 years. It still feels like 1 year, and sometimes I forget myself, and
Yeah,
I say that, yeah, we've only just started, but we've been around for like 2 years
yep.
doing this,
And
and still trying to get more traction.
you're getting a lot of feedback. Um,
Hmm.
is the business growing?
Slowly, I would say.
Yep,
There is a common misconception when we say sensory friendly that people think it's not going to be scented.
yep,
Um, and then are surprised that it is.
yep,
So, um, they are scented candles and they are scented melts. They're just crafted and formulated specifically to not be overpowering.
yep.
So, um,
Which
yeah,
is,
it's more getting the word out there.
yeah, because that's the opposite to what other candle makers are doing. They just, like you said, they just flood the candle with fragrances. You sniff it, it's overpowering. You go, whoa, take that for a migraine. But because I was surprised myself when I put the melts on and the candles, I thought, well, I'm thinking to myself, if they're like, so not overpowering, how much smell or how much fragrance, how's it going to last? How long? I was quite surprised that,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. And I like how also, because of the size of the candle tins, that, excuse me, I can have this as a personal type candle. I can have it, if I'm working at my desk, I can just have it at my desk. I don't have
Hmm.
to, someone else may not like that fragrance. They prefer something else. So I can have
Yeah,
that going, and I'm getting the benefits, and I'm not affecting anyone else.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. Yeah,
And yeah, amazing.
we'll have to use that. We'll have to borrow
Yeah.
that one from you.
Yeah. No, go for it. Yeah. So, all right. Well,
Oh,
Carrie, thank you very much for joining us on DevilishYou. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting. I can't wait to get it edited and out and about. I wish you all the
thank you for
best.
having
No, it's great. The more we can do, the more we can put out. But before we go,
me. Hmm.
a little birdie told me Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I say that this collection that we released, I have been working on since January.
Yeah.
So, um, we released 3 limited edition scents, Poison Apple, Campfire Ghost Stories, and Lollybag,
Yep.
all inspired by, different aspects of Halloween that we wanted to celebrate. And I love Halloween.
Yep.
So it's and it's just so it honestly was just perfectly kismet that our actual birthday is also Halloween.
Yep.
So um we're very excited about this collection. It's only available until the end of October.
Yep.
And as a bonus, every order at the moment goes into the draw to win a $150 gift voucher from Lavender Moon
Yep.
as well. But yeah, it's a very, very limited stock. I think we only have 5 or 6 units left of quite a few of them. So
Yep.
if you want to, better grab it now.
Yeah. And
yeah.
you can put the candles inside little pumpkins.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Too easy.
And the campfire ghost stories smells very smoky as
Yep.
well. So because we tried to make it smell like an open wood fire.
Yep.
So if you put that in a pumpkin and you stick it outside, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. What had was it? Scary apple? Did you say?
Poison apple.
A poison apple. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I like the flavor. I like the smell of apple, but because of the poison bit, I'm a bit scared now.
It sort of smells like a Granny Smith apple, but more.
Yeah.
So it's like if you think of the absolute perfect apple, Granny Smith apple that you can think of, and then think, hey, it's almost too good to be true. That's what poison apple smells like.
Cool. Oh, well, thank you, Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to talk to you again and see what else is happening with Lavender Moon.
Sorry about the dogs.